Been down in the southern bays of Grenada here about a month really, and we're just living life down here, passing time. It's getting hotter and hotter, so we move the fans closer and closer to us as time goes on. Play volleyball about 3 times a week. Lindy joined the gym, trying to stay active. We've been doing the hashes on Saturday. Always the shopping bus schedule that you've seen in the years past down here in the southern bays to try to get all the food we need for cooking and everything. Saga with the wind indicator that's been acting up for 2 years now. I just think it's broken, but Garmin asked me what software we had on our instruments, and I got it, and it's apparently really old. They said, oh, well, you've got to update that software before we warranty your wind indicator. We don't use a chart plotter, and that's how you normally can easily update software. We've just used a tablet with Navionics, also one of their products, but you can't update your software through that. So I had to order a part in this NEMA 2000 network updater, and it took a week or so to get here, and currently I'm downloading the software onto an SD card here. It says 5 minutes left. Then after that, I've hooked up the little guy to the system here, got it plugged into the NEMA 2000 stuff, and apparently it's plug and play. So we'll see some lights supposed to start blinking, and then we'll know it's working, and then eventually the light stops blinking, and then I can check the software. Then we'll see if the wind indicator is actually functioning. I'm doubting it will, but at least at that point I can go back to Garmin and say, okay, we've got the updated software, send me a new wind indicator. So all right, well, as soon as that's done downloading, we'll give it a try. Okay, there we go. Instruments are on. All right, let's put the card in the thing and see what happens. So things are happening. We've got a red blinking light, so I'm going to insert the card, and then we should see it turn to an orange blinking light. That means update in progress. We've got the orange flashing light now, and we got loading software. All right, we're getting the software update. Will it fix the wind indicator? We shall see. We're blinking green now. All our software's apparently been updated. Let's see if the display changed. Okay, display has changed. It says to finish the update though, we have to turn it all off, disconnect the reader, and then turn it back on. So I see the wind isn't working right now, which I didn't expect, but who knows? Let's finish the process. And wind indicator still not working. Oh well, all right, well, we've got updated software. We'll send an updated email to the Garmin people and see if they can get us out a new wind indicator. Jumping through hoops. We've got about 1 month left in the season before we haul out and do some maintenance on the boat, and then we're also going to move the boat around to Port Louis Marina, and we're going to do Carnival here in Grenada. So that should be pretty wild. That's in within a week from now. Maintenance, move the boat over to the marina and Carnival, and then move back over here, and then haul out and more maintenance on the boat. So that's going to be the remainder of the season, and will all happen in the next month. Today we are going to look at the impeller. I've never opened up this impeller housing before, so this will be a new one for me. It's really nice on the new engine that it's just right here, super accessible. On the old engine, the old Westerbeek, it faced backwards and was way back up in there. I had to come in from the side and like blindly try to like undo these these bolts. So this one should be very easy. We'll check it out, and I've got a new one. If anything looks wrong with it, we'll change it. Okay, here we go. The last bolt. There's our impeller. All right, we're gonna need to take a good look at it, make sure there's nothing wrong with it. Let's get the remover tool and take it off. And then it says to turn this one clockwise, and it's supposed to make the impeller come out. So we shall see if that happens. Alright, it's almost all the way out now. Actually looks really good. I don't see any problems with it. We're going to keep it as our spare. I also found that we had 2 other spares, so especially since I have 2. The manual says that you definitely have to change it after 1,000 hours. I know some people change theirs every year. We went 2 years. I don't know. Let's put a new one in. That was really pretty easy. Got some other checks to do, of course. In the end, we will fire up the engine, make sure the impeller's working and that water's flowing and there are no leaks. This is one of our fuel water separators. We have 2, and I'm gonna just drain whatever's in the bottom of it. That way we can see if there's any water or sediment in the fuel, and just get it out of the system too. Got fuel flowing. Alright. Looks pretty good. I can see little bits of water down here. That's because this was a water bottle. But the fuel looks very clean. We're happy with that. Okay, on to the next thing. Check the belt. So I've got the cover off here. Just go around and look at it. Make sure there's not any bad wear. Looks pretty good. I mean, you can see where here on the side it's starting to be worn a little bit, but that's just normal wear and tear. Nothing that makes me think that we would need to change it or anything. All right, while we're down here, let's open up the sea strainer. Strains the water that comes in for cooling the engine. So we'll close the through hole, remove the top, get it out and clean it up. All right, got it out. Not too much stuff in there, a few little weeds, but it's good to get it cleaned out and you know, have a fresh start. All right, now we're going to check some things on the other side of the engine. So here I am getting ready to go down in the lazarette. And I've cleared out more or less. Back side of the engine here, I can check the transmission fluid. Can check on the little computer thing here, which I'll talk about in a minute, and I'll try to change the oil from back here too. And I can look at the shaft seal there. Also the hot water heater in this part of the cooling system. Just basically everything else. The bad thing about transmission fluid is it's really clear and the dipstick doesn't show it well, but we'll do our best. Here we go. You want the oil to be to that line right there. Definitely looks like it is, but I'll clean it a couple of times and check. As you can see, this thing is really hard to read. There I can see some bubbling on the bottom. So yeah, but it looks pretty good. I'll check it a couple of times just to make sure I like what I see, and we'll move on to the next thing. I think the shaft seal looks okay here. Can spin the shaft. No water's coming out. The bellows here, everything looks all right. We're due to change that this year, so when we haul out, we're gonna have to get that off. That's gonna be a project, I think, but hopefully not too hard. There it is. Oil level looks good. I'll just double check it one more time to make sure I see the same thing, then we'll move on. And the last thing I wanted to check was something that we fixed at the beginning of this season, and then I noticed they had all broken again when we were in Beckway. It's the little like dampening feet, little rubber feet that hold this very important computer onto the side of the engine. I was able to replace 3 of them, and they all broke again for some reason. I can't really figure out why. So I kind of zip tied it on here. I need to fix those a little bit better if I can't get the feet on there. You can see right here, right there is one of those feet, and I'll move this. And you can see that is supposed to be connected to that, but it's broken off. And there's 4 of them. Another one is right here. And then there's 2 on the bottom, and they all broke. So I may try to replace 1 or 2 of them again. I've only got a couple of spares. I need to buy some more, and then I'll just do some more zip tying here to hold it into place. But really what I need to do is figure out why they're breaking. So that's probably another one of those projects for the off season. I got the easiest one to reach off. One of the 4 is impossible to get to. 2 of them I could change, and 1 of them's still holding on. So yeah, I'm gonna replace it and then try to zip tie it up there. I might try to epoxy that one just to see how long that holds, but I have no idea what's doing that. I felt like that maybe it vibrates against the wall because it shakes pretty violently at, you know, as it's starting, but I don't know. Oh well. Okay, so it took some finger acrobatics, and I got the one on here, so we've got a new one there, and then I was able to slip a zip tie in place here, and I'm going to snug that up, and so it's going to hold that broken one in place. It'll still do its job. Feeling pretty good about this now. I've got zip ties in there from 2 directions. Here I got another one on there. It's on there pretty sturdy. I mean, if those things hold, probably just leave it like that. I don't know. In the off season, I may work on it a little harder. Well, that's it. I think we've done everything. Just need to start it up and make sure there's no leaks and that it's running good. All right, fire it up, Lindy. See water flowing here, so that's good. You got water out the exhaust? Alright, good. Hey. I can see this thing really gets vibrated around. No wonder it won't break. I guess these zip ties will hold. Doing okay so far. Reverse. Alright. Yep, it's in neutral, and bring the RPMs up to like 1200 or something. The higher the RPMs go, the less it vibrates. So that looks pretty good. Alright, let's go check the front of the engine. Looking good. Everything looks right to me. You can see no leaks here. Heat trainer looks good. Belts look good. I think our computer holding job works pretty good. Yeah. We checked the oil pressure. We'll call that a good maintenance on the diesel. Everything checks out. We'll be ready to move around to Port Louis 2 days from now. Very nice. Yep. One last thing I did for the day. I took all the old little damper things that had broken, and I've epoxied them back together. So I've got a few spares. I don't know if the epoxy will hold, but I don't know, worth a try. I got done with most of my bottom cleaning. I cleaned off the running gear, got the speedometer cleaned off, so got the anchor rod and chain cleaned off because we'll be pulling that into the anchor locker. I was starting to work on the bottom of the dinghy, and I didn't realize I drifted up close to Holiday, and a ferry went by us. Wake kind of pushed me under Holiday and lifted Holiday up and dropped the stern ladder on me. So yeah, I've got a pretty good scrape on my back. So I decided we'd call that a day, and I'll just clean the bottom of the dinghy another time. Here, Lindy, show them my back.
So we got this one here, and it was red, like, I don't know, 2 inches wide, the whole thing. Now since we've got it cleaned up, it doesn't look as bad. And then we got a couple over here, there, a couple here. It was a rough day.
Yeah, I got mauled, but oh well, you know, I'm glad it wasn't worse. You can hear right now we're making water, and that's the last chore of the day. We are, since we're going into a marina and we won't be using the water maker for more than a week, we're gonna pickle it. So I'll show you that when we get to that part. First, we gotta fill up this bucket here with fresh water. And then we put about, we put 3 to 5 scoops of this stuff in there. And this is a pickling powder, and it keeps sea life from growing in the membrane. So yeah, all right, let's add this to the bucket. Finished filling up our tanks. We've got the pressure valve open, so now pickup hose out of the water, put it in our bucket full of pickling solution. We'll start the motor back up, which will pump it through the membranes and all through the hoses. Discharge down there. Awesome. Ready to go to Port Louis now. Should leave tomorrow morning. Stay tuned for the next episode where we sail around to Port Louis Marina in St. George's and go to all the events of Carnival. Okay, down, whoa, the sun's in my face. The easiest thing to get back, okay, so it took some finger acrobatics. Whoa, said that wrong again. And I also got the anchor